these moments that you wish you had some notes and some questions that you would have prepared?
Personally, I over-prepare for these sorts of situations.
They never thought it would be. These niggas were blind, I open their eyes, I help them to see. It was only a dream.
I think in the same spirit of like, what are you listening to these days? Like, what's some of the things that you're praying towards these days?
For me, it is about trauma processing internally and building conversations for us to process trauma as a society. Like those are the things that I'm, like my heart are focused on. Like that within myself and that for our country and our world so that we can move past things, actually heal. Yeah.
That's powerful. I feel that's also what I'm doing. I'm also like teetering on this idea of like getting as much money as possible to beta test these ideas. You know what I'm saying?
Resources is a big deal, man.
Resources is huge.
a big deal. And like that's, if there's one thing I can look at my career and be like, I wish if I could look at it historically through a different lens, it's like, what would it have looked like if I had positioned myself toward more resources? Because I've always been very much guided by my own artistic values, which has always been like it's very important for me. But that has guided me away from money. Like it's not even like a it's not like I don't like money. You know what I mean? It's not like I don't.
This can be the assumption.
Yes.
When you move in a particular way, and like this indie purist idea.
I've learned enough recently about how like the TV stuff works and how much money there is in that, and like how a lot of it gets pissed away every year. I wonder if I had angled towards some of that earlier on. How I could have executed some ideas with actual resources versus like the very like hand to mouth way I've learned to make things happen.
And centering healing, I think, in that context means that money is spent differently.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's the only reason why we're even able to sit here in the middle of a pandemic and in the middle of like a global protest is because what we've done at Trap Heals is created an entire model centering the idea of healing folks that come from impoverished communities first and bringing them along as this company grows and creating opportunities for folks to be invested in their own healing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to heal you, but I'm trying to bring the resources around you so that you can begin investing in your own healing.
Right.
And seeing new ideas and visions coming to pass. So it's not just like another lip service thing.
Because it's transformative then.
It's so transformative, man. You know what I'm saying? Like just moving beyond the transactional shit, which is why I'm like, fuck platitudes, bro. Like, let me just show you let me show you what it is. Can you fuck with this? All right, come on, let's rock. You know what I'm saying? Let's get in where you fit in. Let's throw you in the fire. You know what I'm saying? Let's cure this whole idea through the fire, man, and see what happens. And I think it's a gift and a curse, man. Like I know people who have died from COVID. Like I'm grieving folks who have passed from COVID, and I'm like the entire world is talking about healing now. So damn, thanks God for like downloading this concept of like Trap Heals. Now how do we take this and run with it so that it's more of a prayer and an affirmation than it is just a cool name for a company.
Right. It's something that's actual function that serves humans on an individual and societal level.
I worked on an album during COVID We took 3 days. I locked in the studio and damn near freestyled the whole album. Right? I sent you the link. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
I'm getting on that.
But there were a couple. I went back and listened to it literally yesterday. There were a couple of themes that still floor me today. One theme was running. Right? I have a song called "Running," where I'm like, I used to be running from it. Now a nigga's right behind it like it's nothing. Cop shot another nigga, another youngin'. Now his brother's got it on him, and that's important, right? But like, and I just keep sort of like just this running, like this running idea is on this song, and then my brother sends me a DM and is like, "Hey, bro, some dude named Ahmad just got killed while he was running." 2 weeks later, bro. 2 weeks after the song was made. Like, bro, did you see this? I'm like, bro, don't send me no shit about another dead body. I can't do this.
Right.
So I didn't even look into it. And then a week after that, I realized that he and I have the same birthday.
Wow.
And so like,
and that's in Georgia.
That was in Georgia.
Where you from? Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So like on May 7th, I finally like look at what everybody's talking about. I'm like, oh shit, bro got the same birthday as me. Bro was running. And they was like, "Dang, you need to put out the song Running." I'm like, I can't put this fucking song out, bro. Like, that feels opportunistic. I feel fucking crazy. But like, it was a channeling that happened, bro. Like, so like the power of somebody who submits to the creative energy is what the world needs.
Honestly, and we do need it because these protests lack music. They don't have it. We don't have the music to go along with it now. And I think like if you got that, you got to let it fly.
You know what I mean?
Because these protests need the chance of right now.
Yeah.
Not the chance of 1970.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure. And it's funny. I was talking to Autumn Brown Williams, phenomenal curator. She interviewed me for another platform about protest anthems, and I was like, because I have a song that I put out in 2014 after Darren Wilson was not acquitted, or he was acquitted for killing Mike Brown, called Black Lives Matter, BLM here. And the hook is literally, "Black lives, they matter here." And it's like a trap beat, "Black lives, they matter here. Black lives, they matter here. Black lives, they matter here." And one of the homegirls, Jasmine Richards, heard it, loved it, and like went to the next protest and started chanting that. So like, and even like 6 years later, when you hear "Black lives, they matter here. Black lives, they matter here," is from a song, right? But that was never intended to become the anthem or to become the chant of the thing. So the question that Autumn was proposing, she was like, "Do you believe that we need to be making more protest songs?" I'm like, no, that feels kind of corny to me.
Right.
Because there's always those artists that are like, "Oh, George Floyd just got killed. Let me go to the studio. Man, I'm so motherfucking mad because George Floyd got da-da-da-da-da. We need to go out and do it." I'm like, bruh, I feel you. Use the platform of hip-hop to get your voice out, but like, that's again what I mean is like, bro, are you creative enough to be creative? Or are you waiting for the next topic to be creative with? And so when Nina Simone is making these records, or when like Marvin Gaye is making these records, it's less about him making a what's going on because like, you know, to give it to everybody else. He's, I think, having a conversation with himself.
And
like
Nina's saying Mississippi. God
damn.
Like that's her feeling that.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, God damn,
Exactly.
bro. Like, so I'm making these songs because I have to do this to live.
Right.
I'm not making this song because it's gonna be commercially viable. So case in point, shout out to DaBaby. I think he's a fly ass MC. He remixed one of his songs to be like a Black Lives Matter remix.
This is
DaBaby?
DaBaby?
Rockstar. DaBaby.
Okay.
From Charlotte. Remixed, I think, a song, Rockstar, to be a Black Lives Matter version. Lil Baby
He made a song.
Made a song about what he's feeling in the moment, right? Two different energies. Thank God for both of them giving a fuck enough, right? However, this is already a very successful song. Of course, timing is perfect, like whatever. Lil Baby is rather talking about like, bruh, like I make music about killing niggas and like trapping and shit like that, bruh, but damn if I'm not gonna tell my niggas to go vote because clearly this is some shit that we need to be doing. And I know for sure I'm not the most like like politically savvy or the most like, you know what I mean, like informed on this issue, but I'm tired of seeing my niggas getting killed, right? And if I have this platform, I have to say something that's honest, right? And I'm like, that to me is where we need to be musically. And I think also to the question around like owning the infrastructure and capitalism, things like that, like you're still making money off of it. Mm-hmm. Like it's still like that.
It's still gross in a way. It's
you
still
know what I'm saying?
gross
So
because it ain't free.
Piece.
Like, yeah,
you feel me? So
you're not suspending your streaming earnings on that song.
You know what I mean?
You're still getting that.
And even if like I'm gonna donate this to whatever, I'm just like it all feels fucked up, bro. It all feels fucked up unless we're building a pipeline and go to Accra. You know what I'm saying? Like tap in with our Ghanaians. And bring our culture over there or whatever. Because they're like, please, nigga, like, right of return. Y'all come back. Black America, please come. Like, we love you. You know, we know we did some fucked up shit back in the day. We sold some niggas off. We gonna wrestle with that ourselves. But, like...
What country?
Ghana. They're like, please come. We will give you dual citizenship. Like, bring your ideas. Like, why stay in a country that hates you? Like, and I'm like...
Right. I mean, imagine being a resource like that for an African country. Wow.
So now we're able to dream different and think different, right? Again, going back to this idea of like, you know, use the monopoly board to sort of like go somewhere.
I mean, this is rough, man, because a monopoly board was written. It's a tool made from a mind that is already focused on individualism.
Facts.
And what we are attempting to do, how we are attempting to shift things is to something communal. And how, like, what is the communal monopoly?
I've seen you in your business model, though, keep a very independent sort of framework, but you're still operating within this capitalist beast.
Yes.
Right? So going back to sort of this conversation around, like, getting a seat at the table, getting access to, you know, levels of power that have created conditions that were exploitative, how do you, in your own business dealings, do something different?
What I try to do is be upfront with the people I'm in business with, as upfront as possible about what profit means to me.
What does profit mean to you?
Well, it just depends on what enterprise we're talking about.
Sure.
Let's say we're doing a t-shirt together for my merch company. I need you to understand what my costs are, so that when we look at this 100% revenue that comes back, you understand what part of that is the cost of getting the thing made and what part of that is my profit. And then, so you understand the whole picture. So you're not being exploited. You know what I mean? Or maybe you are being exploited. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like, you're selling this to your fans.
Sure.
So there's something exploitive about that, right? But I think the awareness is key. I think like meeting people like as with a level of mutual respect that I do business with is the way that I try to approach it. But at the end of the day, even in the merch, right? Like, I didn't sell them t-shirts.
Facts.
Somebody got exploited. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way around it. Like, well,
not yet.
And
that's the piece that I've often, like, you know, I don't know. I've had many conversations around like, man, we fuck the system. Let's tear the system down. Like, we need to do something totally different. I'm like, for sure. And we live on the monopoly board. How do we play the game where we are? And in the stage that we're in, where all the pieces have been predetermined before we got here,
right?
How do we leverage those things to extract as much value from this thing as possible in the most equitable way as possible and build the thing that we really believe in, right? So this idea of like vertical integration, like you might be one of the most vertically integrated motherfuckers I've ever met. You know what I'm saying?
I think even before I understood what that meant, I think I was trying to do that.
Trying to do it, right? Because it's like I don't want to pay $30 for a t-shirt and then have to sell it to my homeboys for $40 just so I can buy the paint with that $10 that I made to then do the thing again.
Come on.
I'm like, damn, like how do I get these shirts cheaper? It starts with, how do I get this shit cheaper?
Right.
Or for free? It's like, oh, you had to make it. Well, how do I make it? I need to learn that. And so for me, it's like, you know, seeing people like Ye, you know, buying 4,000 acres in Wyoming, being like, bro, I'm going to raise these sheep. I'm going to get this cotton, make my own shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you're not crazy.
Is that what he did?
That's what he's doing.
I didn't know that. So
That's what
he's
he's
literally sourcing the cotton from his own
From
land?
seed to sow, from sow to retail, from retail to the ethos.
So
of
he
like
he has built his own supply chain.
period.
I
That's
had
been
no
that's
idea.
been the biggest thing that he's been screaming about for the last 5-10 years.
See, I'm learning about that right now.
Like
I
that's
had no idea.
that's why he's out there doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? And
That's
so
why he's in Wyoming.
and because land is cheap,
Mhm.
he's able to do what he had to do. He's able to raise what he needs to raise, and like he's building his factory
Wow.
there. You know what I'm saying? And so like to a degree, I'm like, man, that's the dream.
Yeah.
Is complete autonomy, right? I mean, you say in one of your songs like that you're a sovereign. You know what I'm saying? Like you're a sovereign individual, and it's like that's the kind of sovereignty that I want to sort of talk more about, and not necessarily in a corny way, but I make it culturally like cool and connected. Like, bro, ownership is where it's at. Vertical integration is where it's at. Understand, like you're buying this thing from somewhere.
Yes.
It needs to be produced somehow.
Yes.
Like, why don't you become the producer and the seller, and you know, and then create the ethos that it lives in? Because like Ye has literally created the hype beast culture that we're in.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So he's able to say, "Cool, I'm gonna sell these Yeezys for $300. I know that they can then resell at $1,000. How do I take value from that market, was kind of invisible, and add that back to this thing? Maybe I do this 10-year deal with Gap. So now I'm about to blow Gap up. Like that's what all these cats are doing.
You
You
get
make up
rules.
your own
Yeah,
rules.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
Like, so what does it mean to be like, hey, bro, I'm gonna throw you this 200. I know I'm running low. I'm gonna throw you this 200. If you land, bro, like we Gucci. Let's go in on this shit together.
Right.
Let's buy this building
So
together.
that's what it is.
That's really what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the piece.
But at the end of group monopoly, is it still a group that wins? You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. Does it have to at some point switch so that the team break up? You know what I mean? So that Jay-Z and Dame go their separate ways at the end of the game? Like if we can hold and stick with it, that's one
the
thing.
piece. Yeah.
But the way the game seemed to go, it's one at a time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Doesn't have to.
You would think that it don't have to be.
I feel like it's enough to go around.
You would. That's what you would think. That's what you would think. But the game is built on the idea of limited resources.
Sure. I mean, we learned that shit in economics.
Yes.
Right? Like, that scarcity is a real thing. But, like, nigga, there's so many diamonds on the planet that diamonds are not worth anything.
Man, I'm telling you, half plenty is a magic spell, man.
Bruh.
It's a magic spell. But like,
Bruh.
how do we put the power in that idea of half plenty? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you put power in that idea so it resonates with people? Like, oh, we ain't got to fight over this because there's more to be had. I think about that in the rap game all the time, even on the independent level, because there's a certain jealousy that can take hold. Like, oh man, such and such gets opportunities that I won't. You know what I mean? But like, or like if a big indie artist pops off, it's like, oh damn, like
Divine pops off. Because I feel like you popped off. Would you consider yourself as an indie artist that popped off?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
feel like I'm an indie artist that gets a lot of good looks. I don't think I've had like a game changing moment like a Odd Future or like a Run the Jewels. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think my life is still mostly
I
the
see that.
same.
I see that.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I put together a catalog of good looks. You know what I mean? But I ain't had that one thing where it's just like, oh shit, it's different now.
Got it.
You know
Okay,
what I mean?
for sure.
But within that though, like, you know, I think you can still be of the idea that, oh man, such and such is doing this. But that's thinking like fans can only fuck with one artist at a time. When the truth is, people love music. They don't, you know what I mean? Even when Odd Future was at their biggest, Odd Future, fuck everybody else. Their fans really wasn't saying fuck everybody else.
Never.
Their fans really still listen to everybody. Like that's how like music is. That's how music fans are. Like, of course you get like some extremists to wave a flag, but for the most part, like people's music collection is wild varied.
Sure.
So there's enough room for everybody.
Sure.
The whole secret to all of this shit. Secretly, it's all team sports. All of it. There's no pop culture that's not secretly a team sport.
Yes.
There's no thing you can do with visibility in the entertainment world that isn't enhanced by you having a team around you. And that's what Odd Future was a brilliant example of. Team all coming in together. You know?
I have like so many questions I want to ask you off camera, but I'm going to ask you on camera. To your point of having that deciding moment, do you have a team? Do you feel like you've had a team?
I've had a team. I've had a few teams.
Because you've done like swim team. Was it team?
Swim team was a team by
phenomenal team.
A team by definition.
Bruh,
you know what I mean? Like
quintessential team.
Yeah, and we were from a long line of teams from the Project Blow.
Right.
Afterlife was a team out of the Project Blow. Acid Rain was a team out of the Project Blow. And we were like the latest. No, and the Customer Service was a team right before us. That was No Can Do and his crew. And so we came right after that. We started with Thirsty Fish, and we made the swim team out of everybody we was rocking with. Like that was us taking the flag, being the newest generation.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was a Hellfire Club, and that was like Blowed and Low in Theory, like that whole thing coming together.
Which was so nuts, Mike, bro. Y'all niggas had the entire ecosystem, bro.
We fucked it up.
Y'all had the whole shit, bro.
We fucked it up.
Y'all had the venue, your own venue. Y'all had studios everywhere.
Yep.
Y'all had the artists. You had the artists.
And
you had the artists. You had the artists.
We had press.
You had press. You had admin. You had labels, bro. And you had a network. Y'all had
booking agents. We had management that was trying to
rock
with us. We had everything. We fucked it up.
What happened? What happened?
We couldn't graduate from homie business to business. That's what happened. We couldn't take what we were doing, and make it sophisticated enough, to work.
I was just like, man, y'all niggas knew what y'all were doing. Y'all did it.
We had a plan and we executed it to the extent that we could, but then the shit just fell apart, G.
Bro, that was heartbreak, bro.
Yo,
that was heartbreak,
dog. Like, and I watched it happen. Like, I watched it happen from the inside out. Like, these were like my brothers,
man.
And when that shit went south, it was the ugliest shit I ever saw in my life.
Man,
it was the ugliest shit I ever saw in my life. Cause like, this was the money that motherfuckers was eating with.
Yeah.
Literally feeding themselves with this money.
Yeah.
So like when it wasn't doing what it was supposed to do, motherfuckers' feelings was hurt on a very deep level.
But like what does a team look like to you now as somebody who owns multiple businesses?
I mean, I'm in my mind, I have plans to put together another team. It's just harder for me now at the age I'm at, and like with the state of the LA scene. Like I come from Project Blowed as a breeding ground for rappers and relationships. Low in Theory was the same thing, beats and rappers and relationships. And we don't have that anymore. So there's no place for us to get together and do things. LA is very location centric when it comes to movements. And right now, everybody's a free radical, bouncing around, waiting for something else to take hold. And so like, now I'm looking at, damn, if I establish a team, which I really need to do, I'm looking at trying to work with people who don't live by me, which is possible. But if you're a team, you got to have a team photo. Y'all gotta have a photo in a jersey. Y'all gotta have a look like, and you can manufacture that. Dreamville manufactured that.
This has been such a beautiful, I think, affirmation of a conversation that I'm not crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel very affirmed right now, bro. I feel that. I appreciate you.
I feel that,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, niggas ain't crazy, bro. Like, we right.
But that's the problem with us not having a spot no more.
Yeah.
Because when we got a spot, everybody gets together and we have these conversations weekly, monthly. Yeah. We get to see what each other's doing off of a notebook trying to work out a new song. Like Like, and you get that, like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's right. We don't see each other, but we all still kind of processing, and moving through this, and coming to some of the same, coming to some of the same thoughts.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Damn.
maybe that's the next move,
Maybe
man.
that's
We
the next
gotta
move.
make another spot.
Yeah.
You know?
What ventures have you like dabbled into? Did you say you have a clothing?
I had a merch company.
You have a merch company. Okay.
Podcast network.
An entire network.
Yeah.
Okay.
Record label.
What's the name of your label?
Auto Reverse Records.
Auto Reverse.
Auto Reverse Records. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I almost have to consider Open Mic Eagle a business.
100%.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because
Yes.
I have to do things outside of those things
Yes.
while still operating them. So
Yeah.
like those are the 4 things that I consider to be the businesses that I operate.
Everything that you've said and everything that you're doing is aligned with where I am in my own walk. You know what I'm saying? As a creator or as a father, as an artist, as a human. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just excited to see. I mean, I've known you for 10 years now. Like what the next 10 to 20 years looks like, bro. I love it, man. And I love you.
I love you too,
We can
brother.
keep talking, bro, but like I don't want to take too much of your day away.